Hi, I'm Davina. For 3 years, I've poured my heart and soul into Tavolo, the Italian restaurant where I started as a server and worked my way up to assistant manager. It wasn't just a job, it was my second home, and the staff was family. Davina, can you cover for me at the bar tonight? Tommy called in sick again, Elena asked, tying her apron as she rushed through the kitchen. Third time this month, I said, checking the reservation list. Marcus in his office yet? Elena rolled her eyes. Haven't seen him. But did you notice the liquor delivery was short yesterday? And the produce guy was asking about payment again? I frowned. That's the second vendor this week. I'll talk to Marcus when he comes in. When Marcus finally arrived, his usual confident swagger was replaced with nervous energy. His eyes darted around, and his normally pristine suit was wrinkled. Morning, superstar, he said, voice too bright. How's the lunch prep going? Fine, but we need to talk about the vendors. They're… Later, he waved dismissively. I've got calls to make. Big things happening, Davina. Big things. Jake, our head chef, appeared beside me as Marcus disappeared into his office. Something's off with him lately. Last week he asked me to cut the portion sizes, said we need to optimize costs. Did he mention anything about payroll? I asked. He was late depositing last month's checks. Nope, but Olivia's been trying to reach him. Left 3 messages yesterday. Olivia was Marcus's ex-business partner who'd stepped back last year, but still held a small stake in Tavolo. If she was calling repeatedly, something was definitely wrong. That evening, while closing up, I found Elena sitting alone in the darkened dining room, staring at her phone. Hey, what's keeping you? I thought you had that date tonight, I said. She looked up, her expression grim. Davina, we need to talk. My cousin works at Highline Casino, and he just told me something about Marcus. What about him? He's there almost every night. Has been for months. She hesitated. He's been losing big, really big. I sat down slowly. How big? Remember when he said he was in Vegas for that restaurant convention last month? He was actually at private tables losing thousands each night. My stomach dropped. That doesn't make sense. Marcus is too smart for that. It gets worse, Elena said, sliding her phone toward me. My cousin sent me this. It's a promissory note. Marcus put up his share of Tavolo as collateral for loans. He's gambling with the restaurant, Davina. The document on her screen confirmed my worst fears. Marcus had essentially gambled away the restaurant, our livelihoods, my future. Does anyone else know? I whispered. Not yet. But the casino's collecting. We have maybe a week before everything falls apart. I left Tavolo in a daze that night, walking home through rain-slicked streets, despair washing over me with each step. Everything I'd worked for was about to disappear because of Marcus's addiction. By the time I reached my apartment, though, despair had hardened into resolve. I wouldn't let him destroy what we'd all built. He did… What? Jake slammed his knife down on the cutting board. Morning prep had turned into an impromptu staff meeting in the kitchen. Keep your voice down, I hissed. We don't know who else might be involved. I always thought something was fishy about those investor meetings he kept having, said Carmen, our senior server. Last week I overheard him begging someone for more time. Thought it was just a supplier. It wasn't, Elena said. I did some digging. He's been taking out loans from some sketchy people to cover his gambling debts, using the restaurant as collateral. Jake shook his head. No way. Marcus built this place from nothing. He wouldn't risk Tavolo. You're not listening, I said. Elena's cousin confirmed it. Marcus has lost over $300,000 in the last 3 months. Money we don't have. Maybe there's an explanation, Jake insisted. Have you actually asked him? And tip him off that we know, so he can clean out what's left of our accounts? No thanks, Elena snapped. I held up my hands. Look, we need more information before confronting him. I called Olivia this morning. She's meeting me here at 2 o'clock when Marcus leaves for his supplier meeting. The ex-partner? What can she do? Carmen asked. She still has access to some of the financial records, and unlike us, she has resources to fight back. When Olivia arrived, she wasn't alone. A sharp-eyed woman in a tailored suit accompanied her. "This is Meredith, my attorney," Olivia explained, settling into a booth in the empty dining room. "What you've told me is disturbing, but not entirely surprising." "You knew?" I asked. "I suspected. Marcus's behavior changed about 6 months ago. He stopped sharing financial reports, made excuses about meetings. That's why I started looking into things." Meredith opened her laptop. "We've been tracking unusual transactions. Money moving from the restaurant's accounts to personal accounts, then disappearing within hours. Classic signs of someone feeding an addiction." "So it's true," I said, my last hope fading. "He's gambling away our restaurant." "Yes, but there's more," Olivia said. "The loan sharks he's involved with have connections to money laundering operations. This goes beyond gambling debts. If authorities start investigating, everyone associated with Tavolo could be implicated." Jake, who had been listening silently, finally spoke. "I don't believe this. Marcus gave me my first real break when no other restaurant would hire me. He wouldn't do this to us." "People change when addiction takes hold," Olivia said gently. "The Marcus you knew wouldn't do this. But the Marcus who's been visiting casinos every night for 6 months? He's a different person. I have years of texts where he's canceling plans or lying about where he is," Elena added, showing Jake her phone. "Look at the timestamps. Most of these are from casino floors." Jake's face fell as he scrolled through the messages. "So what do? We can't just let Tavolo go down." "We gather evidence and confront him," I said. "Together. And we give him one chance to come clean and find a legal solution. If he refuses," Olivia finished, "we go to the authorities before the loan sharks come collecting. It's the only way to protect yourselves and possibly save the restaurant." As everyone nodded in agreement, a plan began to take shape. We'd need bank statements, witness accounts, and irrefutable proof of Marcus's actions. By the time our meeting ended, determination had replaced our shock. We had 3 days before the next big loan payment was due. 3 days to save everything we cared about. "We need to talk, Marcus." He looked up from his desk, surprise flickering across his face as he took in the sight of me, Elena, Jake, and Olivia standing in his office doorway. "Olivia, what are you doing here? I've been meaning to call you back, but things have been hectic with our expansion plans." "Cut the act," Elena said. "We know about the gambling, the loans, all of it." Marcus's smile faltered, then returned with forced brightness. "I don't know what you're talking about. If there's been some misunderstanding." I stepped forward, placing a folder on his desk. "Bank statements, casino receipts, loan documents with your signature. This isn't a misunderstanding." He glanced at the papers, then pushed them away. "You had no right to go through private financial matters. Whatever you think you've found, you're misinterpreting it." "Am I misinterpreting this?" Olivia opened her laptop, turning it to show security footage. "This is you at Highline Casino last night, and the night before, and at least 3 nights a week for months." Marcus's facade cracked. "You've been spying on me?" "We've been trying to save our livelihoods," Jake said quietly. "The livelihoods you gambled away." "I was trying to save this place." Marcus stood suddenly. "You think running a restaurant in this economy is easy? We were underwater after COVID. The loans were to keep us afloat." "And the gambling?" I asked. "Was that to keep us afloat too?" His shoulders slumped. "It started small, just a way to blow off steam. Then I won big one night, enough to cover our property tax bill. I thought I'd found a solution." "But you didn't stop winning, did you?" Elena said. "I could have. I was close to winning it all back last week. One more game and—" "Stop!" My voice cut through his excuses. "This isn't about one more game. It's about betrayal. We trusted you. I trusted you. Davina, you of all people should understand. Remember when we stayed up all night revising the business plan after that terrible first quarter? We're survivors. This is just another setback." "A setback?" I laughed bitterly. "You signed away the restaurant to loan sharks. People who won't hesitate to hurt us if they don't get their money? That's not a setback, it's a crime. I can fix this, Marcus pleaded, turning to each of us. Olivia, remember when we first started? Everyone said we'd fail, but we proved them wrong. We can do it again. Olivia shook her head. Not this time. You crossed a line, Marcus. Jake? We've been through thick and thin, buddy. Jake wouldn't meet his eyes. You should have come to us. We would have helped you. Marcus's expression hardened. So that's it? You're all turning against me? After everything I've done for you? We're trying to save what's left, I said. We have a proposal. Sign over your remaining shares to Olivia's holding company. Let us restructure. In return, we won't press charges for fraud and embezzlement. You think I'll just hand over my restaurant? His voice rose. I built this place. And you destroyed it, Elena shot back. Marcus lunged across the desk, grabbing the folder and ripping papers. You have nothing without me. No proof that will stand up. We have copies, Olivia said calmly, and witnesses, and a paper trail even a first-year accounting student could follow. Marcus fell silent, his rage giving way to calculation. I need time to consider my options. You don't have time, I said. The Rossi brothers expect their payment tomorrow. So here's what happens. You sign these papers now, or we call Detective Reynolds, who's waiting outside. Your choice. You're bluffing, he whispered. I pulled out my phone, holding it up so he could see Detective Reynolds' contact ready to dial. Try me. When Marcus lunged toward me, his face contorted with fury, Jake stepped between us. Don't make this worse for yourself, man. You'll regret this, Marcus snarled, jabbing a finger at me. I know things about this place, about all of you. If I'm going down, I'm not going alone. Are you threatening us? Elena asked, already recording on her phone. Marcus's gaze darted between us, the realization of his situation finally sinking in. His shoulders slumped, the fight draining out of him. I never meant for this to happen. I just needed one more chance. We all need chances, I said softly. But you used yours up. Sign the papers, Marcus. The investigation will take time, Detective Reynolds said, closing his notebook. We sat in what used to be Marcus's office, now temporarily mine, as we sorted through the aftermath. Financial crimes are complicated, but with the evidence you've provided, we have a solid case. What about the restaurant? I asked. The loan sharks are still expecting payment. We've frozen those accounts pending investigation. The individuals involved have bigger problems now than collecting from you. They'll be laying low for a while. Elena leaned forward. So we're safe. They won't come after us. I've arranged for patrol cars to keep an eye on the restaurant and your homes for the next few weeks. But yes, I believe you're safe. These operations don't like police attention. After Detective Reynolds left, Olivia called an all-staff meeting. Everyone gathered in the dining room, faces anxious as they waited to hear about their futures. I know the past week has been chaotic, Olivia began. Finding out about Marcus's actions was a shock to all of us. Are we closing? Tommy, our youngest server, asked. My cousin said the police were here because of money problems. We're not closing, I assured him. But we are changing. Olivia nodded. I've established a new ownership structure. 40% of Tavolo now belongs to a holding company I control, with the remaining 60% distributed among a management cooperative that includes Davina, Jake, Elena, and any staff member who's been here over a year and wants to buy in. Murmurs of surprise rippled through the group. You're making us owners? Carmen asked incredulously. Co-owners, Jake clarified. Small shares but real equity. The people who built this place should own it. What about Marcus? Someone called out. Marcus is cooperating with authorities, I said carefully. He won't be returning to Tavolo. As if summoned by his name, the front door opened, and Marcus walked in. The room fell silent as he stood awkwardly at the entrance. What are you doing here? Elena demanded. You're not supposed to be on the premises. I know, he said, hands raised placatingly. I wanted to apologize. To all of you. He looked around the room, his gaze finally settling on me. Especially you, Davina. You trusted me the most. You should leave, I said, keeping my voice even. Please, just hear me out. I've started a program, gambling addiction treatment. I'm getting help. In a few months, when things settle down, maybe we could talk about some kind of arrangement. No, I cut him off. There's no arrangement to be made. You betrayed everyone in this room. People who believed in you, who worked nights and weekends to make your dream successful. Our dream, he corrected. It was our dream, Davina. We built it together. And you gambled it away alone, Jake said, stepping forward. You need to go, Marcus. I made a mistake, a terrible mistake, but people deserve second chances. Marcus's eyes pleaded with each face, finding no sympathy. You're really going to throw away years of friendship over one bad stretch? I stood up. It wasn't one bad stretch. It was hundreds of deliberate choices, day after day, month after month. You chose gambling over us every time you walked into that casino. The Marcus who started this restaurant would never recognize who you've become, Elena added. His face hardened. Fine, have it your way. But don't come crying to me when you realize running a restaurant isn't as easy as you thought. Goodbye, Marcus, Olivia said firmly. Detective Reynolds mentioned you shouldn't violate the conditions of your release. After Marcus left, a heavy silence hung over the room until Tommy spoke up. So, we're really going to be okay? I looked around at the faces of people who had become my family, who had stood together when everything threatened to fall apart. We're going to be more than okay. Tomorrow we start fresh. New menu, new ownership, same heart. Later that night, after everyone had gone home, I sat with Elena, Jake, and Olivia at our favorite corner table, sharing a bottle of wine from the cellar. To Tavolo 2.0, Jake raised his glass. May it be less dramatic than the original? We clinked glasses, laughing for what felt like the first time in weeks. You know what I keep thinking about? Elena mused. That walk home the night I found out. I was so devastated I thought everything was over. And now? Olivia asked. I smiled, looking around at our restaurant. Truly ours now. Now everything's changed. For the better. So, Davina, Jake leaned forward. What's our first official decision as restaurant co-owners? New menu? Renovation? Marketing blitz? Actually, I said, I was thinking we start with a staff appreciation event. The people who stuck with us through this deserve to know they're valued. As we planned into the night, the weight of betrayal finally began to lift. Marcus had gambled away more than money. He'd gambled away our trust. But what he didn't understand was that Tavolo had never been about one person's vision. It had always been about the people who poured their hearts into it every day. And now, those were the people who owned it. Have you ever faced betrayal from someone you trusted completely? How did you rebuild afterward?